Hello valued viewers, I hope you're all doing very well and welcome back to the Viewer Fleet Competition 1960 to 1985 in Sea Power. It's been a really good competition. It's gone on for 2.5 months I think now, but now we're in the final. We started off with 10 teams and now we've got 3 which we're going to whittle down to a winner today. A quick recap of what's happened so far. Qatar took on Pony, Qatar went through to the semi-finals, Fly took on Corp, Fly went through, Cap took on Davros, Cap went through, Ed took on Red 6, Ed went through, and Dirty took on Alien, and Dirty went through. In the semi-finals, Qatar took on Fly, Fly went through for today, Cap took on Ed, Ed just beat me and went through to today, and then we've got Dirty, because of the kind of odd amount of teams that we have, gets a free pass to the final. So today is a 3-way final, Fly, Ed and Dirty. This is the way I intend to do it. First, Fly will take on Ed in a 150-mile tactical battle. The loser of which, let's just say that's Ed, will then take on Dirty in a 150-mile battle. If Ed were to win that second battle, then he'll go through to face Fly in the next stage. If Dirty wins, then Dirty will go through to face Fly. So let's say that Dirty wins. In that case, Fly and Dirty will go through to the final 50-mile battle, and then the final 1-mile battle. I hope that sort of makes sense, but it's just the way that I need to do it to keep within time restrictions that we have. So first, we'll start with 150-mile battle, Fly versus Ed. And you all know it by now, 150 miles, and in the centre is our bullseye. Here is Fly's Constitution Kirov as his flagship with Car 27 AEW helicopter. We have a 10 by, I think it's 8 miles spread of Iowa battleship. Tycho, Tycho, Tycho. As protection, we have Sverdlov, 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 Sverdlov. And from memory, that was 393 points taken up of 400. Next, Ed. Very interesting but strangely effective. 10 Iowa-class battleships, total 350 points spent, with a Sea Sprite AEW helicopter, 10 by 10 miles circle spread. And we have an awful lot to do today, so we're just going to get straight down to it. Speed forward, let the AEW helicopters do their thing. We know, obviously, Fly is going to get shots in first because he's got a 170 knot helicopter, whereas the Sea Sprite of Ed is only 130, 120 knots. Speed up, speed up, speed up. Ed is going to win that. Fly is going to win that particular race. And stop and convert to full-time AEW once it gets across the line now. And full-time AEW in play. It's going to be a good few minutes before Ed gets his AEW up. Let's have a look at Ed's ships are now being identified, which is going to allow Fly to start firing his missiles. He's got RGM-109s from the 2 Iowas. He's got P700 from his flagship. Most of Ed's fleet can be seen now. Not much is going to happen now until Ed's AEW craft gets in position, and Ed reaches his position. Let's get his AEW up, and up we go. That's going to allow Ed to start identifying targets, and off go his RGMs. It's going to be quite a similar battle between what we saw between Ed and myself, and that was a very close battle. So interesting to see the difference that Fly can make. Out of interest, how many P700s did Fly fire? He fired all 20, so everything he can fire, he has fired. In terms of Ed, he probably won't fire everything he can fire. Yes, he has. 80 missiles fired. P700s now in kind of pseudo-terminal phase, 36 miles. And we saw my P700s have very limited effect against Ed's battleships last time, so I'm not expecting too much. Alright, in we go, probably in 5-inch gun range. Oh, jam. Hold on, Iowa. I don't know who I want to win here, viewers. I'm not actually sure. Maybe Fly? I don't. Yes, definitely Fly, because Ed beat me. Oh, what's going to happen? What's going to happen? What's going to happen? Oh, I missed. That one was jammed. Well, P700, not very effective in DCS, in Sea Power anymore. Oh, it's reacquired. I take that right back. It just gets much more easily beaten than it used to. I imagine what happened is when the game first came out, there were lots of complaints that the Americans were struggling, and they've changed the balance of the game so that the Russian guys are much less effective now. That's my guess. That's sunk it outright, but it's only 35 points critically. It's not a big deal for Ed. That won't sink it. Wow, something big went up amidships. It's probably still not sunk, to be honest. And look, most of these missiles have been used on this guy here. Not very effective P700 salvo of 20 missiles. Probably changes to core game. That might sink it, I don't know. We'll have to see. And this guy's hit, but that's definitely not sinking. So far, 35 points to Fly. And he's also got another salvo of Tomahawks, but there are only 16 of them. Although Ed didn't get to fire as fast as Fly, it doesn't really matter because he's fired all of his missiles off in one salvo, so whether he fires sooner or later, it ain't going to make much difference, is it? Right, good news for Fly is that the Tomahawks have locked onto these weakened battleships, so there's a chance at least of getting some more points here. That guy's sunk out of radar protection, obviously. Probably be sunk. Bit of friendly fire there. Probably be sunk. Duped. Won't sink it, so it's kind of irrelevant. Sunk. Probably might sink, I don't know. Yes, sunk. 3 times 35, whatever that is, 105. Right, other way around now. 80 Tomahawks coming up Fly. Now, I didn't have any Tychos in my fleet. In fact, I had very limited defense in my fleet. He's got Tychos. How much will that change it? Well, missiles out from front Tycho. Here we go, Flyington, Wyington. How well are you going to do? Well, I really fear for Fly here because some of his Tychos have been locked onto, and those are 59-point vessels. In fact, some have locked onto his flagship. Real improvements of Tomahawk in recent patches. Hitting the shield, or not. I just sense an overwhelming. There's not much that can deal with 80 missiles, right? Shield getting hit. They've probably taken about 20 of them out, but 60 still coming hot and on their way to the Tychos and maybe worse. Yep, this is on the way to the flagship. That's the flagship. And that's a Tycho it's going to hit. That's a Tycho dead. Just can't stop 80. Not 80 you can't. Dead. Sorry, Fly. It's just the ultimate. The ability to send out 80 missiles in one go. There's, you know, you need a 20-30 carrier group, 20-20 carrier group. And with the improvements of the RGM as well. When we set out this competition, the RGM was stupid. It would just go for the front shield guys, you know, like a stupid missile. Now it's intelligent. Now it seeks out the expensive vessels. So, you know, when we actually submitted our teams, the whole rules of the game were different in that way. Is the flagship going to get taken down? I don't think it matters. I think Ed's won this already, but we'll check. Battleship's getting hit. Right, Sverdlov is down. Remember, it only counts if a ship is sunk. So we've got a Tycho, interesting. A Tycho completely sunk. Got a Sverdlov completely sunk. Flagship's about to get hit. That won't sink it though. Not get hit. Oh, there you go. 80 missiles defended. Kudos for doing it. That might sink that battleship. Oh, now it's all about what sinks, viewers. What is going to sink? Well, so far, a Sverdlov and a Tycho have sunk. As it stands, actually, believe it or not, Flyer's won. It depends what sinks. What's going to sink? Oh, gutted! Gutted! One missile too many got through. That's 59 plus 59. Is that going to sink? 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 As you get further in the stages of the competition, we're in the final now, the battles are really close. And that's because the non-hackers like me have been weeded out. The idiots like me have been weeded out. And the really good teams are left. And you can see, I don't actually know who's going to win this battle yet. I mean, that guy's low in the water. Look how low in the water he is. But if he doesn't sink, it doesn't matter. Rules are rules. That's the beauty of the Iowas. They just don't sink. He's not sunk. Oh my god, how is that not sunk? He's actually partially submarine. But they're so tough, those old cruisers. Yep, Tycho is 59 points. So, Fly lost 59 plus 59 plus 4 for the Sverdlov, 122 points. Ed lost 35 times 3. Let me just double check. 35 times 3. That's 105. Ed just wins because that lost Tycho. So, sorry, Fly. Really good fight. You did a bit better than me, but Ed versus Dirty next. So Blue swapped out Dirty for Fly, or other way round. Let's remind ourselves of Dirty's constitution, whose flagship was an Iowa. Second in command was an Iowa. This is his chosen, whatever it is, 10 by 8 mile spread as well. Nox frigate. Tycho. Spruance. Tycho. Total 398 points, and that's it. His flagship's an American vessel with a Sea Sprite, so both guys are going to have Sea Sprites, speed forward, and both helicopters getting there at the same time, obviously. Blah 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 blah. I've seen it all before. And pause. Set the AEW up. And AEW in, and carbon copy of last time. Basically, Edge ships are going to start being spotted. Dirty ships are going to start being spotted. RGMs being fired from Dirty, so Dirty can fire 8 RGMs times 2, 16 RGMs. Interesting. Oh, this is interesting. He doesn't actually have anything else to fire with. And I've also just realised what happens if Ed wins this. If Ed wins this, then who goes through to the next round? Well, it's going to be the guy who did best against Ed, in that case, isn't it? It's going to be whoever lost with the least amount of points against them. Do you know what I mean? It'll be obvious. As soon as this is over, you'll see. I don't know, because I don't know how it's going to go, obviously. Well, we're in a position now where Dirty can only fire 16 missiles. Ed can fire, surprise, surprise, 80 missiles, and there they are. So that's it. They're all going to arrive at the same time, annoyingly for me. So we're just going to do the best we can, viewers. Alright, here we go. 80 missiles versus 16 missiles. Kind of obvious who's going to win, right? Dirty has 4 Tychos, whereas Fly only had 3 Tychos. Will that make a difference? We'll just have to see how well the missiles do on the day. Though, to be honest, Fly only took out about 30 of these missiles, so I doubt Dirty's going to do more than really 30 or 40% at best, so I think he's going to get slaughtered. I think it's just going to be who loses the worst, or who loses the best, right? Because you can't beat us. This is the perfect attack. It's not failed once. I guess the major difference is, thinking about it, that Dirty doesn't have a meat shield. It doesn't have a shield of cruisers like Fly did. So every vessel he's going to lose is a high pointer. Checking over here, nothing of interest. Checking back. So there's a good chance that Dirty's going to do even worse, substantially worse than Fly, in my opinion. Wow. Just absolutely overwhelmed. They don't have that cruiser screen, which they need. They need that cruiser screen. Before we watch the obliteration, quick check. Nothing of interest. Back we go. Not going to stand a chance, I'm afraid, viewers. It's just too many. Too many to target. We may have even crashed the computer. No, we haven't. Just too many. Can't be coped with. They're going to get the flagship even. Straight away. Tycho sunk. More stuff hitting the flagship. Haven't even seen this guy here. Another Tycho. Spruance sunk already. Oh, they blew his citadel up. Sunk Tycho. Yeah, it looks like flies going through, viewers. Sorry, Dirty. Sorry, not sorry. All we're looking at now is embarrassment factor. How embarrassed is Dirty going to be? I would suggest possibly, probably pretty embarrassed right now. Jigga jigga jigga. Jigga jigga jigga. Is he going to lose all of his vessels? All of his nuclear vessels? They got jammed, look, but it... Oh, doesn't matter. Alright, clearing it up. Did Ed lose anything? Oh, Ed did lose a ship. And nothing else hit. 35 points versus... Get ready for it. That guy survived. Is this guy going to survive? Might not sink. It might sink. I don't know. Yeah, sunk. Oh, Jesus. Took the citadel up. Wow. Just wow. I don't even need to fast forward it, but I will because I'm a mean, mean man. I don't even really need to add those points up, but I guess I will. Tycho, 59 plus 59 plus Spruance, which is 40, isn't it? Plus 40 plus Nox is 20 equals 218. Did twice as bad as Flight. That's just the way it is. Fly goes through to the final, which is of course the 50-mile non-tactical. Everyone sees everyone. Everyone fires everything. Pure firepower battle, and this is going to be even crazier than last time. I mean, essentially it's going to be the same as last time as the 150-miler, but saying that, this time Fly gets extra firepower because he gets the P700s, he gets the RGMs from the battleships, but also this time his three Tychos can fire their RGM 84s. But personally, I just still can't see how he can survive the 70 missiles that you know are going to be coming. Wow, nice roll. Look at that roll. That you know are going to be coming from Ed when he finally gets around to firing them. So, just a vast amount of missiles. 80 Ed missiles versus, I don't know, 50 Fly missiles, a bit more maybe. Ed can only defend, obviously, with his guns. In fact, you know what Ed relies on for defense? He relies on the stupidity of blue missiles. The stupidity of blue missiles to go after the same battleship again and again and again. And it works. Because, look, most of these P700s are going to go straight down and kill that one. And then when it's already dead, the next bunch of P700s are going to come down and hit it again. Is that unrealistic? It's not really unrealistic. That is how they work in real life. They don't know the difference between a blown-up ship and a non-blown-up ship, as long as it's not sunk. So he's exploiting what he's allowed to exploit, and that's perfectly fine. I exploit stuff in my one. Missiles coming out now from who we got? Fly now. Slow it down to 1 speed, and yeah, whatever is about to happen there, right? 1 missile jammed. I am jamming you. I'm not sure why Ed's turned away. Interesting, isn't it? But he has. That's our first mistake from Ed. Why has he turned away, viewers? Let me check the distance is right. I'm sure it is. So, from flagship to flagship should be 50 miles, and it is. It's 50 miles. I don't know why he's turned around this time. No orders were issued. Steer point is there. That's interesting. I wonder where that is. Has a mistake been made? Has a mistake been made? No. Look, look, look. There's the flagship. And there's the steer point. So, I've not done anything wrong. It's just, for some reason, Ed's ship's doing something weird this time. Sea power being sea power, I believe, is what's happening there. Will it actually make any difference? Probably not, because, like I said, Ed's biggest defense is the stupidity of the blue missiles. Right, we've got Ed's missiles closing on flying now. Now, these are harder to hit. The RGMs are much harder to hit than the RGM 109, so... yes, oh, sorry, yeah, I made another error. Because Ed now is in range of his harpoons, he can also fire a mixture of harpoon. He'll probably only fire 80 again, because that's sort of what his programmed to do in-game. But it will now fire a mixture of harpoons and Tomahawks, and the harpoons are even more, as you can see, uninterceptable in game. Has he turned his back as well? No, he's facing the right way. All a bit weird, but whatever. Checking over here. I mean, Fly's about to get wiped out even worse than before because, as I said, the harpoons are just such a nightmare to deal with. First bunch of ships now taking their hits, but it's just a 4-point cruiser, so it doesn't really matter. Checking over here. So far, Ed, apart from his weird 2 ships facing the wrong way. Ah, I see. Pause. It says at the bottom there, engaging surface track with RGM 109, target too close. The rules are, you set the flagship of each fleet 50 miles apart from each other in this battle. There's 50 miles, there's 50 miles. If he wants to use his RGMs, that's not my problem. Note, he's got these here, he could fire these. His harpoons, which don't have a minimum range, it really is a him problem, if that's going to happen. That's game being whatever game wants to do. Again, is it going to make any difference? Absolutely not. I just can't see any way that Fly can survive this. Fly's subsonic missiles are in now. Will they do much? Probably not, because they'll probably just target the front battleships again and again like this, which are already dead, obviously, and that's how I think Ed's been doing so well in defence. His main ships are also his meat shield. Staggering 6 minutes into the sim now. Can't really see what's happening down there. Well, Fly, as far as I can see, hasn't lost any vessels, and Ed has lost vessels. No, yes he has. He has lost vessels. I mean, it's perfect red because this guy's sunk, but it, you know, a myriad of missiles are still going to hit it. And again, that is kind of realistic as well. Missile doesn't care if you're facing the wrong way. Missile doesn't care if you're half sunk. It's going to suck up all the missiles, even though there's only a tiny, titchy, witchy little bit that's actually sticking out of the water. Your stupidity are all belong to me, I believe. No sunk vessels for Fly! No sunk vessels for Fly! Why? As Baby says, all the time now, by the way. I don't know. Probably by the good grace of God, by the looks of it. Who knows what's going to happen now? That's a sunk Tycho. That's 59 points now. Maybe a sunk Iowa. That's 35 points. Kirov's it. Probably not sunk. That's something that's about to be sunk. Iowa. Kirov's it again. Probably not sunk unless it is a mag. Iowa's sunk. Oh, right, viewers. Oh my god. Yeah, and here's the thing. Because Ed's got so many more missiles, he'll just keep firing them. So he is unsurvivable. He is unsurvivable. I mean, Fly's got to do all of that all over again. Well, his repair crews have got to get everything working again because here comes another 80 missiles. Yes, I remember this thing happening in my go now. So it's got 2 serviceable Tychos left, or one serviceable Tycho left. This one's not firing anymore, and I can't intervene. Well, on the plus side, at least he's done the most damage we've seen so far to Ed's fleet. He's sunk 1, 2, 3, wow, 4. Iowa's 1 is untouched. Oh, and that might sink, I don't know. Depends if the magazine catches fire. Finish the cruiser off or not. Well, now Fly's having a bit of luck. Cruiser's sucking out missiles, but yeah, it's all a moot point, viewers. One big fat moot point. Cruiser dead. To be honest, even if Fly survives this with a ship, there's more coming out. Because these Iowas, they'll just fire and fire and fire. 1 times overwhelming coming, viewers. Get ready for your overwhelming. Just realised I'm at 2 times speed. Slow that down. Old Tycho here. New Tycho about to be hit. Tycho's out of missiles. Fly has no more defensive missiles left. He's done everything he can. He's thrown everything he can at it. but there is nothing left to give. And ladies and gentlemen, I give you, in a second, the winner of the 2025 1960 to 1985 Sea Power Public competition. It's going to be Ed, because he's won the previous one and he's going to win this one. And he did it as a black sheep as well, because everyone looked at his fleet of 10 battleships and said, "You're a friggin' idiot, mate," or words of those. And Ed just stayed stoic and he said, "I don't care what you're saying to me, I want my Iowas." And he's shown what Iowas can do if used in a really unrealistic and weird fashion. But this competition was never meant to be realistic. That's not what we were trying to do. We were trying to make a fun PvP competition out of a single player game that we enjoy, and I think we've done that. Does the flagship go on? Flagship is holding on. Can Fly keep a tiny bit of face? Can he just keep a tiny bit of that little German round pucker face? I suggest probably not. I suggest definitely not. No face saved here. That's going to sink. But that's okay, because there's a million other missiles coming anyway, so it's all a moot point. Oh, he's only got his flagship left. His flagship's gone. He's only got a Tygo left. Ed wins the competition, but before we talk about what we're going on next, let's just do a little bit of a fun broadside between the two finalists and see if Fly can bring back any face at all. And welcome to Last Battle, viewers. It's just for fun because it's best of 3 obviously, and Ed has won 2 of those 3 already, but 10 Iowas versus, God, what is it, 4 Sverdlovs. In fact, it's probably going to freeze up and not let me continue, because this is what happened last time, isn't it? Anyway, we'll debrief what we're doing here. Ed won it, and well done. In terms of how we move forward, viewers, I'm kind of glad it ended. I'm getting a bit burnt out of this competition now, however cool and fun and awesome it was. I just get bored of everything in the end, don't you? Do we want to do another one? Sure. Give it a couple of months and I'm happy to do another one. It has to be done in the rough same format, obviously, because, you know, we spent weeks trying to figure out how to do this, and this is the only real way of doing it. Remember, it's a single player game only. All that can really change, you know, roughly speaking, is the vessels. We can either go late Cold War to 2000 kind of area, or you can go modern day 2020s. Both can be done in Sea Power. I'm open to suggestions from you guys, so let me know what you think on that. In terms of this final battle here, we probably won't be able to run it very far because there's so much firepower going on. What tends to happen is the game just freezes up. So we'll wait for the first couple of vessels to be sunk and then we'll judge it. Wow, harpoons being fired, how about that? That's pretty much going to decide it, isn't it? 2 Iowas on blue side, but you know, you got so many 16-inch shells coming in that it's a complete moot point. Every single frigging RGM went for that guy here. First ship sunk, and it's a blue Tycho down. I mean, there's just nothing there. It's just tin foil to a 16-inch gun. Sverdlovs probably haven't done much better. In fact, they're not that bad. I guess they're low priority targets. They are notoriously tough though. A bunch more RGMs coming in. Just look at the pummeling these Iowas are taking. High priority targets. How they've not sunk. How they've not sunk. I mean, look at the pummeling this dude's taking. All the 16-inch guns are hitting him. That was a one-way battle all the way, viewers. How did the flagship? Where's the flagship? Flagship is down. He can't fire anything. Its guns are gone. Competition over. Well won, Ed. Well done for going against the grain and doing what you thought was best, and it won in the end. So well done, viewers. I hope you enjoyed the competition. I did, but like I said, I need a bit of a rest now. I hope you enjoyed that, and bye bye.